You're with India Post Live, India's first online news conversation web TV. I'm Ishan Russell, and India Post Live is, of course, a forum where you can participate. We want your participation to be here to really decide the agenda, and you can really reach out to us in any of the modern ways. Social media is there for you to use. You can use Twitter, hashtag India Post Live to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live. Use Facebook, India Post Live. The page is over there. You can like it and go and comment over there, or go to indiapostlive.com, our website. You can go view this video and other videos that are there for you. You can comment on any of them because we have a wall for you to comment. If you want to come into this show and talk to our experts over any issue, Google Hangout and Skype are there for you. So go ahead, be part of this conversation. What we're talking about today is about a very important state in Indian politics, Uttar Pradesh. It was really the game changer in this general election, and the way Uttar Pradesh voted seems they have a lot to aspire for. So we went out into Facebook groups, we went out onto the internet to ask people what their real issues in UP were, and can they be addressed. And the people really did respond in a big way. The biggest issues, of course, that came up were, in fact, the issue of safety and security, of law and order. And given the recent events that have happened in UP, especially in Badaun, it has become a big question mark over there. To discuss all this and more, we have with us Mr. N.R. Mohanty. He's the director at the Jagran Institute of Mass Communications, and Mr. Vinod Agnihotri is the consulting editor with Amar Ujala. Thank you very much for both of you coming in, and we would request all of you, if you're watching this from UP, you can come in and join by Google Hangout, Skype, any way. You can ask the experts anything. You can express your point of view. If you're watching from anywhere else in the world and are from UP, you can also join in. If you're just a concerned Indian or even a concerned citizen of any part of the world, you can join in. But Vinod, sir, as far as this law and order situation is concerned in Uttar Pradesh, that really could become the next big flashpoint for the Akhilesh Yadav government.
Of course, law and order is the biggest problem in the UP. And just since this government came in the power, it has become, it is a general perception that law and order has a worst from the previous government. And recently the Badaun case, and now some girl was burned in Bareilly and rape in Bagpat. So you see, law and order is the biggest issue in UP. Other than law and order, there are electricity, the scarcity of the electricity, roads, sanitation, water crisis, and pollution. These are the basic issues which should be handled. But I think law and order is the biggest issue. But it's a state subject. Now, what Akhilesh government, what is their priority? Only God knows. Because when Badaun happened, they removed chief secretary, and chief secretary has nothing to do with the police. Yeah. If they have taken some action against the DGP, Home Secretary, it could be understand it's okay. But removing chief secretary, and you see, chief minister has not visited that place. Rahul Gandhi has gone there. Today Ramvilas Paswan has gone there. Yesterday Mayawati was there. Lot of leaders have gone there. Meera Kumar, but Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, he has no time to visit that place. So this shows the concern of the state government towards the law and order.
All right. In fact, we'll play out the graphics for you in terms of demands, the wish list that has come in from Uttar Pradesh, what the people are demanding, and we'll have those on your screen right now. So, law and order, lawlessness is, of course, the first thing. Last year, Uttar Pradesh reported the highest crime rate at 12.1% of the total crimes in India. Safety for women, of course, also comes under that, and the highest crime rate against women is also over there, 13.3% of the total crime against women in India. Power shortage is there, the peak demand over 12,700 megawatts. The state gets 10,700 and a shortfall of 2,000 megawatts. And recently there have been massive power cuts across Uttar Pradesh, so people really groping in the dark for answers. Their unemployment, the NSSO report puts the projection of unemployed youth in the state at a whopping 1 crore by the end of the ongoing 12th five-year plan. Corruption, of course, is a stuff of legend in UP, and living up to the expectations as per the manifesto, and legal cases pending. The issues, I mean, Mr. Mohanty, are there plentiful, but the kind of mandate that Uttar Pradesh gave the BJP in the center, does it mean that the state government really has to pull up their socks and really address some of these core issues?
I mean, it's not. It was not incumbent on the state government to pull up its socks only after getting a drubbing in the Lok Sabha election. They had got a mandate, and they should have worked on their own.
They'd also got a very clear mandate.
They got a very clear mandate, and the entire media, mainstream media, hailed it as a rise of a youth power. And that's why often we say that this so-called youth is a complete misnomer. Youth can be debauched, youth can be also completely irresponsible, like the old man is. That putting a premium on the youth is absolutely misconstrued. And that's what Akhilesh Yadav is showing. Akhilesh, like his father, is completely indifferent, got power, and they think it's all by rotation they will get into power. Akhilesh, Mulayam Singh Yadav and Mayawati, they had carved out on their own. And they thought they will be able to have a rotational power, so enjoy yourself.
Just like Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
But now the BJP has entered the fray. Congress is still out. BJP has entered the fray, so now now that Mayawati was completely decimated, so obviously there is a third player which has come into action. They need to pull up some, but I think it's beyond the capacity of Mulayam Singh Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav to pull up their socks. They would continue to go in this way till they face defeat in the next assembly election.
All right, we have Mr. Rakesh Mishra joining us. He is originally from Varanasi in UP, but is in Noida right now and is talking to us. Mr. Mishra, Akhilesh Yadav does not visit your work area in Noida, but in terms of responses from him, what would your wish list be?
Ishan, my wish list, the basic problem in Varanasi are the roads primarily, and the biggest is the ghats, because more than the half of the Varanasi is dependent on the kind of ghats they have, and the roads is main issue. And apart from that, there is also biggest issue is that encroachment. So the traffic is a big mess. When you go from certain points from the railway station towards the ghats, towards the Gadolia area and all those things. So these small things which are really big problematic for all the small businessmen there. All the businesses are around the ghats also only.
All
the
right.
entire market starting from there is there. So our expectation primarily is that we get electricity, which is the biggest issue right now, and the roads, which is very, very important. So that the traffic, the tourism and everything is smooth. People have a nice experience when they come to Varanasi, and the ghats have to be they're in a very, 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 very bad shape. They're in a very, really messed up, big time.
All right, so Varanasi is of course the seat of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Vinod sir. So how do you see Varanasi being handled? Would it be handled differently, or would it be the same conflict between Rai Bareli and...
Today there is a good news for Varanasi people, and Rakesh must be happy to hear it, because Akhilesh Yadav has promised that they will supply 24/7 power for Varanasi. So now they have become the VVIP treatment from the state government, and it's a good news for Varanasi. And because Prime Minister Narendra Modi, now he is from UP, though he is a Gujarati, but he has opted to become representative from the UP. Now he is a UP is Prime Minister. So lot of expectations from him, and from right from cleaning of the roads, not maintaining. I'm saying cleaning of the road, to law and order, solving unemployment, industrial growth, economic growth. The promises made by Mr. Narendra Modi in each and every meeting in the UP, in Gazipur, in Kushinagar, in Varanasi, Lucknow, Kanpur, everywhere. And you see, UP is a very big state, having 80 Lok Sabha seats, and having a very, you see, it's a Western UP is a different type of area. Bundelkhand has different problems. Yeah. Purvanchal has it's a totally backward, in a very bad shape, Purvanchal. Central UP has a different problems. The cities are dying, like Kanpur, the old Manchester of the north, is dying city. And all the old cities, Rakesh was talking about the Varanasi. The situation in every old city of the UP is the same, whether it's Meerut, it's Aligarh, it's Kanpur, it's Varanasi, Allahabad, the roads are in the bad shape, the pollution is very, sanitation is the problem. You see, law and order is the biggest problem. So there is a very, very long wish list from this central government. But you see, State government is totally directionless. Totally.
Why is that so?
Because there are so many power centers in this government. Mulayam Singh is the chief of the Samajwadi Party and he is a supremo of that party. Akhilesh is the chief minister. Shupal Yadav, the next brother of Mulayam Singh, he is a power center. Azam Khan is another power center. The Professor Ramgopal Yadav is another power center. Anita Singh, the principal secretary of chief minister, is another power center. And many other power centers are also working in the back door. So the officers posted in at the Thana level, they are not loyal to the law and order. They are not loyal to their duties. They are loyal to their masters. That is the basic problem, whether it's a DM or SP or Thana SO. During Mayawati regime, there was only one power center. That was Mayawati. That's why the law and order was better during Mayawati. And even developmental work was much better during Mayawati's regime. You see the Noida Expressway, you see the progress, what progress has been done in
Even Azharganj, Lucknow for that matter.
Yeah, Lucknow for that matter.
Yeah.
Even the power situation was better. So these are the problems. How this central government will tackle these issues with the state government of another party, rival party.
Rakesh, what would your expectations really be from the state government? I mean, it's been there for almost 2 years, 2.5 years now. Half its term completed. How would you rate its performance, and do you think it's satisfying any of your wish list from here on?
Before that, I would like to just add on to what Saud is saying. That apart from these people who have headed the UP for last 10, 15 odd years, the will is not there. They have used, and we are blamed to. We are the person who are to blame to about that, because we have played into their hands, and caste politics has been the primary issue of every election manifesto in Uttar Pradesh, rather than development. So even the people also, if the water is not there, if the electricity is not there, people have not come on the roads to agitate for them. For the same. But when it comes to casteism, everybody has aligned. So primarily now we are getting educated, or you can say we are getting aligned with the development is the primary issue, and that's how Narendra Modi has got the mandate this time, and that's how the expectation is. Coming to your second question was about expectations. So the expectations are a huge state, and so many prime ministers have been produced from this state. But the problem is that these people, they don't have the will to do it. And look at the arrogance level when they talk to the media and how they talk. This is not the way to talk to the people. People have chosen you, and the way you talk, the arrogance level, so it shows that there is no willingness. So we are very, people like me are very, very hopeless on the present government. It's so scary. Me staying in Noida, every second day there is an incident happening on the road. People are getting shot and looted in the daytime. Daytime robberies are happening. Can you believe this? Can you really believe that what is the situation of law and order in Uttar Pradesh? It's in a very, very bad shape. We are scared to move out. That's the situation.
All right, Mr. Mohanty, do you see things changing? Do you see corrective action being taken? Because really, I mean, as the result of the mandate said, what happened in UP and what real people from UP are saying, but can really things change on the ground? Has Akhilesh Yadav lost already?
As we have seen, Akhilesh Yadav's government in the last 2 years has not shown any indication that they can bring around the situation any better. In fact, they have led to a worse condition than what it was before, what Mayawati had left behind. So that's a situation in which Narendra Modi comes in, but Narendra Modi is leading this central government. Everything, as we were discussing a little while before, everything in the State Department of any significance is under the control of the state. And no Narendra Modi, no Prime Minister can interfere in this matter. The only thing a Prime Minister can do, because now he is from Varanasi, now his party has got 73 seats out of 80, is to give huge amount of resources as special package. But will the government do it? Because has the UP government shown any kind of indication that it can use the available resources optimally? No. In terms of performance index, which Raghuraman, which RBI governors had created, in that UP is somewhere in the last in the performance index. In the multidimensional poverty index, in composite poverty index, everywhere it is at the bottom. So what point giving more money to this government, then it will go only down the drain. So I do not see any, except for the fact that as Prime Minister, you bring in, the defense is there, you bring in a defense project to UP, as you bring in railway projects to UP, you, like as Laji says, for building of ghats, you spend 100 crore. That kind of special benefits that as a Prime Minister he can bring in. But in basic issue of education, health, even in power sector, I do not know whether in power sector also certain amount of the scarcity of the coal, well, the coal is of course under central government, but there is a discussion that it should be now devolved into the, in the state hands so that there is greater synergy. Possibly in that nature, but I do not see, it's especially because of the strong antipathy between the Samajwadi Party government and the BJP because of the ideological issue. So I do not see any possibility of any major changes in the ground till next election takes place and possibly a BJP government comes to power in Uttar Pradesh.
All right, that could be a possibility given how the situation is turning around right now. But Mr. Agnihotri, what Rakesh pointed out was very interesting about the voter not being out in the streets, not demanding these things, still voting on caste and communal lines, which even happened in this election. We saw that kind of polarization in Western UP. So these issues that the voters, the wishes, they're not really expressing their wish list to the leader, or are they?
Actually, caste is a major factor in UP's electoral politics. And since I think after this Mandal and Mandir politics, but in this election, I don't think entire voters, they voted on their caste lines. There was a polarization. There was a polarization against the Congress and against the UPA government and in favor of BJP. And that polarization was a reverse polarization. I can say it. And it was in Western UP, it was a communal polarization. And even in central UP and eastern UP, it was a polarization of upper caste along with OBCs and Dalits, some part of Dalits. They voted for BJP, but they have some ambitions and demands because Narendra Modi in every public rally he promised lot of things. He assured lot of things. Even I remember the meeting of Kushinagar when he said ki. Because RPN Singh, he represents that constituency. And Narendra Modi in his rally, he said कि केंद्रीय मंत्री मिल चीनी मिल भी नहीं खुलवा सकता तो क्या कर सकता. That means he promised he will open that sugar mill. So these are the issues, basic issues, local issues. Now the people are expecting from Narendra Modi कि अच्छे दिन आ गए. तो अच्छे दिन for UP. When the अच्छे दिन will come for UP. As Nalini has said, a lot of issues are related to the state government. It's a reality. And central government is a very limited role. But one thing central government can do regarding the law and order, at least there should be a pressure on the state government. Ki, look, either you improve the law and order situation or ready to face the action. Because Home Minister can issue the warning. Home Ministry under Article 356 that government can be dissolved, but it is a not easy task. No, it's a majority government. But under Article 355 they can issue a warning. Whether Narendra Modi is willing to do that, you see on Badaun case, till now there is no tweet or no comment from the Prime Minister office. He is congratulating the students who has topped the CBSE exam, but there is no tweet, single tweet on Badaun case. Today, Akhilesh Yadav promised 24 hours into 7, 24 into 7 power supply to Varanasi. So, is there any deal between the Chief Minister and the Prime Minister? So, these are the questions which can be asked.
All right, very interesting question. Rakesh, what would you have to say on this? Final word to you.
See, I don't think there is a deal. Definitely, it's very strange that there is no tweet has come up. Probably that is very strange. I am also very surprised that he's tweeting on everything, but he is not tweeted on the Badaun case. but as you said, I fully agree with you that unless and until both the center and the state come on the common platform to do something, people like us will only suffer and suffer. So it's too early to read into a deal, but at least if some pressure is built upon, definitely there will be some positive things on. Because now, even in the Badao case, the way it has come up, there has been a tremendous pressure, and due to that pressure only, things have started happening. The politicians should generally, the politicians have to stop treating people like guinea pigs and using them at their will, using these situations as political arena. It's very sad. These two little girls have been brutally raped and hanged, and people are going there for, I don't know what for these politicians are visiting those places. But they should be more to it. They're trying to show the apathy, but it's not there. So it's a very sad situation. I hope that it betters.
Extreme cynicism from a resident of Uttar Pradesh, and that is what I think the mood across the state would be right now. Mr. Mohanty, do you see this as a larger trend?
Trend about?
About cynicism, about the present state of
Obviously,
government?
things are not moving at all in the last so many years. You look at it. There are states like Himachal Pradesh. In 20 years has surpassed many other states and come to the top in terms of human indicators. UP continues to remain at the bottom. So in that situation, people only resign to their fate. And as he was talking, it's actually it's a tragedy which Amartya Sen keeps saying. Why isn't it that in India, people do not come out on the streets to demand water, health facility or education? And this is the reason why politicians are able to manipulate. Unfortunately, it's our failure as well, middle class or the articulate sections, that we are not being able to create that kind of awareness among the people that come out on the streets and fight for your rights. One campaign was done by Kejriwal on corruption, but corruption, it's such a all-pervading issue that it does not solve a specific problem. Although he said if corruption problem solved, everything will be solved, but corruption problem doesn't get solved like this. We need to have concrete measures about education, about health. Healthcare is one of the biggest. That's what, in fact, like India, they say in India, right from the days of Nehru, even Nehru was supposed to be a socialist left-wing prime minister, but he did not follow the left-wing policy of creating universal education. And that's the reason why we are lagging behind. And that's the tragedy that all other governments have carried forward. If we start with a major campaign, I do not know, Narendra Modi himself has that vision to create that platform of education and health care being the major plank through which development can be achieved. I do not know. He is driven by that kind of a thinking. He only thinks growth that give big platform to the big industries and GDP growth will. GDP-driven growth is important, but when GDP-led growth is mentored by the process of development in education and health, then only we will be able to achieve
the human
success.
index of the Gujarat.
Yes.
The social and human index.
All right, so we'll have to wait and watch early days in office for the Prime Minister. Final word to you, Mr. Agnihotri. Anything to look forward to for citizens of Uttar Pradesh? Could things get better, or they have to wait for their vote to count again?
I think we have to wait for the next elections, because you see, I don't see any hope from the present state government. The way they are functioning, they are totally idealess, directionless, and there is a curse at the top level of the Samajwadi Party that I know internally. That's why, and this central government cannot topple the state government. They have a full majority, 225 MLAs, and it's difficult and it's almost impossible for central government to dislodge this government. So I think we have to wait for the next elections. Let BJP and Congress and improve their situation and get, because even BJP last 24 years till from 1992, BJP there are three successive governments from the BJP. Kalyan Singh, two-time Chief Minister, Ram Prakash Gupta and Rajnath Singh. But things are in UP, they're the same. Or even once when Rajnath Singh was the chief minister and the Kalyan Singh was the chief minister second time, in the center there was NDA government. At that time, from Gram Sabha to Lok Sabha, there was a BJP. But the problems of the UP never addressed. That is the big issue.
All right, so perhaps it's time for citizens to really come out to the streets and take
citizens
their...
and the time has changed because you see now the youth and the young generation, they have a lot of expectations and they are very active.
They're aware and they want
Awareness
more.
is too much. So I think let the wait for the next elections.
Right,
UP
till
elections.
till that time, you can make you the people can make the issues that you want. Make the politicians hear those issues, go out in the streets and protest. At least you can participate over here, and we'll try to get your voices heard. Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Mishra, for coming in and sharing your points of view with us. Also, Mr. N.R. Mohanty and Mr. Vinod Agnihotri. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. Well, that was it in our little presentation about the UP wish list. If there's any other wish list from any other state that you'd like to participate in, of course, join in. And if you're from UP, well, it's probably time you raised your voice and talked about the issues that really concern you rather than caste or religion. Thanks so much for watching.